What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Hooray! On slightly not great circumstances, let's call it. However, like we've always said, the dips in the market are given us to us as opportunities, and we're going to be breaking down those opportunities this evening. We're getting to everything that's been going on. Another big push down in the crypto market, 64,000 and some change, the current price on BTC. So we're going to get into all of what has been happening, why it's happening, and more importantly, what is coming next. Like we said, this shouldn't be a surprise, okay? Because we've sort of been talking about this now for the longest time. We've been saying, hey, expect Bitcoin to continue to push down, expect further downside to come in, all of that, right? We've been talking about for the last, man, it feels like we've been talking about for the last couple of months, really, but we're going to get into it tonight. Obviously, a couple of things going on, you know, lots of stuff going on, some World Limit financial news, you know, market structure news, and then I guess let's call it the big transfer of capital. Let's call it that, all right? Let's call it that. And if you are curious about what I'm going to talk about, stick around because it's going to be fun, all right? We're going to get into it. And I guess a pattern that I believe is sort of playing out that maybe people aren't watching. Maybe people are freaking out. They're like, oh my God, Bitcoin's going to zero. Like, I'm going to lose everything. And they're missing the most obvious thing that is right in front of them. So, like I said, we're going to get into all of that as you would expect this in tonight's live stream. We'll take a look at price action and all of that. Damien in the house, what's going on? What's going on? We need some good news. Well, Andy, I don't know if I'm going to give you good news. I might give you some, what would I say? I might give you some comfort. Okay, that's probably a better way of describing probably this live stream, but whether it be good news or not, I'm not sure. Anyway, Tim, what's going on? Chipper, welcome in. JFR's in the building, said, hey bro, it's me. 3M Indian guy daily waits for you to come live. How's your health today? Come well, take care, see you soon. Yeah, I'm okay, behave. I'm holding up, all right? I'm holding up. Damien, thank you so much. Jay says, relief rally, then a real dump begins. I mean, yeah, Jay, what is your target? Downside target? Let me know. Let me know. Aishana, what's going on, bro? Good to see you. Welcome in. Hope you're all doing well as well. We appreciate everybody tuning in. All right. So hope you're all doing well. As always, welcome in. And yeah, take a seat, relax, sit back, and get excited about what we're going to talk about. Okay, let's get into what's going on. This is the Bitcoin chart. It doesn't actually look that great if you look at it on the hour. Let's go into the 4-hour chart because it's probably going to be a bit more interesting. I deleted loads of stuff off this yesterday. It looks like I deleted all of my indicators and everything off. Oh, bro, come on. What? Oh, man, this is the most annoying thing in the world. It's the most annoying thing in the world. I literally deleted all of my... God's sake. I literally deleted all of my indicators. That's like the worst news ever. Oh, well. Oh, well. Okay, fine. Fine. We're going to have to bring it in. All right, so just bear with me. Bear with... Let's put these charts on here so we know. What else do we have? Is it this one? Maybe this one, actually. There it is. There it is. All right, so I think we're all right. Man, I will definitely move you in just a second. Yeah. Okay. Okay, right. After that disaster, I probably should have checked these, shouldn't I? Before we actually went live. That would have been a smart thing to do rather than, you know, going live and being like, oh, what's happening? Anyway, right. Right. Okay, I think we're sorted, everybody. I think we're sorted. So apologies for that. Okay, let me move you. TikTok. Come on, you need to have a look and see what's going on here on the price action. I think I might have to lose my jumper, actually. Just bear with me 1 second, everybody. Bear with me 1 second. Because it's pretty warm where I'm at. 1 second, everybody. Okay, we're back. We're back. Apologies. It's pretty warm where I'm at. So, anyway. Okay. Okay. So, let's bring up the price of BTC. And we need to change our EMAs as well. Just so we can see them a bit better, actually. 200 we need to be... That was purple. 100 was... I mean, we can just leave it as blue. This was red. And this one was yellow. Okay, man, that was just a disaster, wasn't it? That was a disaster. Anyway. All gravy. All gravy, ask me. Okay, so here we go on BTC then. So some of the key things we are interested in, and more importantly, I guess where we go next is what we are very, very much keen on. So again, I'm just trying to make sure I got everything back in my life here so I can see what the heck is going on. So, oh, bro, come on. This is just a disaster. Man, what is it? I don't want it to do that. I don't want it to put... Why is it putting over the top? Oh, there we go. Candle highlighting. No. Let's sort it out. Yeah, there we go. All right, cool. Cool. Okay. Good. Hey, Mouse. Blizzard is almost over. Saeed's in the building as well. Everyone's here, by the way. Do me a favor, smash up the like button, share the stream out, all of that good stuff. Apologies, I'm literally all over the place right now, which is kind of annoying. Imagine what happened to Bitcoin when the stock market dumps. I mean, that is the big concern with a lot of people, that if the stock market rolls over, then yeah, we're in for a bit of pain. But no surprise here when we analyze BTC. And we actually were talking about this from this, you know, this kind of chart. So the POC line's on here as well, which is super annoying. We need to take that off. POC line. We don't need a POC line. So yeah, so people, we'll talk about the stock market as well in a minute, but the broader crypto market took a dump, all right? Did take a sell-off, lots of fear about AI, lots of nervousness, but like we said, this isn't a surprise. We're absolutely not in a world where this should be a, you know, this is a surprise. And I think this is, you know, this is kind of where we've been. This is kind of what we've been talking about. And more importantly, this is exactly where we are right now. So we've expected this kind of dump in the market. We expected this kind of push down the market. And look, that is pretty much exactly what's happened. The big question, as everyone's been talking about, is where do we go next? How low do we go? I told you guys yesterday. Also, by the way, I did post in the private Discord. If you haven't got access to that, by the way, make sure you're a channel member. That means that your name is green, all right? It's important that your names are green. But yeah, we posted in the... We posted in there actually to make sure that people knew exactly what was going on. And more importantly, you could make sure that you were set for a win, okay? Which I think is important. So, you know, we talked about the potential of pushing down. We talked about where we get to. And actually, I posted in there to say, hey, as price comes down, this lower range was kind of the support, okay? This was kind of what we were looking at. If we didn't hold this white line going across here, that we were in for some more pain. Yes, you can see that we did get a little bounce here. Nothing super crazy. We then continued lower. So my price target right now, when we talk about where we currently sit, is absolutely within this range. And this is why I've been saying, hey, you know, make sure that you have your potential buy order set. You know, make sure that you are, you know, ready to kind of grab that dip at the bottom end if, you know, if that kind of opportunity does sort of throw itself at you. Because, you know, the reality is, you've got to be in a position where you can make the moves as and when you need to, all right? These are super important. So, again, this kind of push down. The big question, like we said, is why is the market really pushing down? The fact is you just got significant weakness. We didn't get any real data that's come out and suggested that we're going to see a push down. As you remember, we said last night, look, US futures didn't look particularly wonderful. The NASDAQ looked okay. The S&P 500 looked okay. The Shenzhen, the Hong Kong Stock Exchange, all looked very vulnerable, okay? All looked very vulnerable. The crypto bearish, yeah, it is. It is. So understanding where we can go next, though, that's probably what we need to understand. And, you know, how do we then prepare ourselves for that potential, you know, next move, which... If you want to put it into kind of Fibonacci rallies, you can see the bottom of this green box that we drew on here, which was, you know, obviously from this kind of move. So we had the big pump down, we then get the bounce back up, and then we get this move, in my opinion, where we get to. We can see we lost the 382 Fibonacci at 64,765. Now, if we get back above this, then, you know, this could actually play out okay. We'll take a look at a little bit more of a nearer time frame to assess what that's going to get to. But, you know, above 64,765, we don't get that, then yeah, I mean, I'm bearish right now. I think we could see some push downs in the market. I'm going to get rid of this, actually. Let's just get rid of this because we don't need it on there. It's just in the way now. So you can see how that's kind of playing out right now. But the 382 at 64,738 is probably the one you need to hold. If we don't hold this line, then yeah, I could see us coming down 62,976, all starting to play out into the range that we've been talking about. 59,844, the lower part of my range, the upper range, $62,000, which I've been saying. So, my buy orders are set in this sort of range here, which, I think could see us push down. That could give us the momentum that we need to get down there. Certainly feels very much bearish in the price of BTC. So if we go in a little bit nearer, though, this could give us some indication as to where we are going. You can see we lost this structure. So this structure is now essentially invalid as to where we get to. You can start to think about, okay, where's the next sort of structure that we've been playing out? So you could argue, if you go here, look onto the 1 hour time frame, what have we got playing out? Well, we have the W pattern. Are we going to come back up, maybe get a bit of a relief rally, retest the lower range of this support over the course of the next couple of hours? I don't think so. This is the problem. Doesn't feel like it. Why? Because you have a descender on the back end of that W pattern. So this is very bizarre. Massive liquidations, and we can kind of assess what it is. As I talked about in my Bitcoin update video, if you guys didn't watch that, I was kind of saying, look, I think right now it is a last-ditch move. I think deliberately we are seeing pushes down in the market. And people might think I'm crazy. People might be like, oh, 2-bit, you're absolutely off your head. I just feel like there's so much right now pointing to this like shakeout, this kind of getting people to sell. And honestly, people are just like, you are literally off your head if you think that's the reason why people are selling their Bitcoin. But when I show you some of the bits that I've been looking into, you can just kind of feel that this is all really coordinated, all right? It certainly feels like it to me anyway. Again, I don't want to spread misinformation. I'm not in this world where I'm like, oh, I'm going to back it up with some facts. I'm just trying to find something that is really interesting, but I can't find it. I literally just, I was looking at it literally before I went live. Oh, there we go. Okay, got it. Well, I think it's all kind of, put together. It isn't that coordinated. What do you mean? You think randomly it's just a retail that we do this? As an example, just FYI, just randomly, we get nearly 3,000 Bitcoin sell-off in 1 hour. Just a random sell-off at 1 a.m. in the morning. Nah, bro, this is like a coordinated. I'm not saying it's super coordinated. I'm not saying it's like everyone's dumping their coins. But what I'm saying is, I think there is a deliberate play. So we know categorically that JP Morgan Chase, as well as a couple of other big banks, were deliberately pushing down prices on Bitcoin. We know they were doing it with stocks where they would set up big sell orders, okay? They were setting up big sell orders. People were front-running the sell order, dumping the price, and then they moved it. So everyone's heard of Jane Street, okay? Everyone's heard of the idea that Jane Street would come in, they would absolutely front-run the potential selling off and then buy back in over the course of the day. We looked at it with Binance. You saw massive amounts, a $3.8 billion worth of XRP was sent to Binance as this kind of like massive sell-off panic. Obviously, then it sells off. People try and front run the massive sell order. Then they just pull the sell order, right? It's definitely been there. Silver is a great example where JP Morgan have been up to no good. And we'll talk about why I think that it is happening again and the reason why I think it's happening, okay? Because I think that's always worth sort of touching on. So in here on the 1 hour, maybe we get a push back up. My view would be we get to the 20-day EMA perhaps, and then we get a probably push down. Again, sentiment right now is down, but look at this. Volume coming in right now on this sell pressure is wild. So loads of volatility, which is kind of crazy, right? Yeah, true, Fat Sonic. I agree. But to push things down this, this isn't just randomly, this isn't retail going, just going to sell, this is way more coordinated. You only have to take a look at the kind of overall, sentiment today. Even when you apply stocks, $700 billion wiped off US stock market today. Look at some of these, Microsoft, Google, Meta, Oracle. We've been saying Oracle's dumping. Look at IBM, 13.5%. It's like, oh my God, what is happening? Like everything's selling off, and for a big reason, I think. Anyway. So if we go a little bit lower, what do we get? You can start to see maybe we start to get this bottom here on the W pattern. If we get to around 65,000 and rejected, then, maybe we start to come down. Other argument would be, hey, potentially we're starting to see a little bit of a bear flag start to play in here. Again, on the lower time frame, we're starting to move here. Look, push back up, reject around 65,000, come back down. Again, is this where we then fall off a cliff? And I still have my price target set that we could be seeing this. There's no real macro coming in, but it is worth thinking about, okay? Oh, not the bots again. Why is there so many bots coming in, bros? I wonder why they're coming in. We haven't really got attacked by bots for ages, but anyway. Is what it is. Is what it is. Shout out to the mods. Shout out to Curtis, Tim. Look at that. Look at that. What a set of legends. Boom. That's what happens. That's what happens when you come into this channel, everybody. Absolutely dominated by the mods. Let's get it, baby. Let's get it. You guys crushed it. Great job, mods. Heroes. So this is kind of where we get into BTC. Again, I want to talk a little bit more macro in a minute, but from a technical standpoint, again, you can sort of get a flavor as to how this is playing out. What's worth noting here, big volume, big volatility, okay? Pretty interesting, right? Pretty interesting. What is your price target? I never heard. My price target is around here between $60,000 and $62,000. I've got a big long trade set up here, along with altcoins, everything else, waiting to go back in. Do I think we could go lower? Yeah, my lower range is around 59.5K. I definitely think that we may go even a bit lower still as a wick. But for me, 62,000 on 10x leverage with about 7,000 in margin initially then does give me a liquidation point of about 51,000. So it means that, you know, if I believe that we're going to go lower than 51, I probably need to move this. But yeah, this is kind of my price target as we sit at this moment in time. So, you know, that's where we get. Macro, why do I think we're going down further? Look where we sit here on the weekly time frame. I know we're doing it slightly different as we normal, but, you know, this is playing out pretty much perfectly. I mean, I don't want to be the biggest bear in the world, but yeah, this is playing out pretty much exactly as we anticipated. And if we're dead honest, as we've kind of prepared for, which, you know, we've been talking about now for what, a month? You know, since about 108,000, 109,000, we've kind of been saying, look, it is what it is. We're going down. Let's get ready. And sort of say, personally, I won't try and buy another bounce. I mean, potentially short the bounce or long it on a low margin, low leverage, potentially. But yeah, I mean, I'm not about it. I'm not about it. Okay, that's my target too. Nice. Hey, we're aligned. Love the style, bro. Love it. Love it. Yeah, why did you delete that? I'm a bot. Come on, Curtis. Don't start going wild, Curtis. Don't start going wild. That's not what it's about. Beebs, rocking into it. Could you guess? At what price do you see Bitcoin by the end of 2026? Thank you for member to 2 months. Let's go, Beebs. The end of 2026. So, here is a bold prediction that I think people may jump into the comments and be like, oh, this guy knows nothing what he's talking about. I actually think we'll be back above $100,000 by the end of 2026. That is my personal opinion. People think I'm crazy, but if you understand, I believe where the bull market of the next cycle is going to go, I could easily believe we'll be back above 100,000 by the end of this year. Because again, the bottom could be in the next couple of months, and then we have 6-7 months of grinding back up. Even if you argue you do 10% every single month, 6 months puts about $35,000 in the price, takes you to about $96,000 to $100,000. Just my opinion. Lots of things can happen. Trump stimulus checks, well, the bit financial goes boom, all that kind of crazy stuff. But yeah, personally, the aggressiveness of this dip means one of two things. One, we're either going to get to the bottom sooner, or two, we are literally going to Goblin Town, and this is going to be the worst crypto dump in history, which means that it was the worst bull market followed by the worst bear market, which means crypto's basically over. So I sort of don't subscribe 100% to that just yet. Just my opinion, okay? That's kind of where I get to a little bit. So anyway, here on the weekly time frame, look, still playing out pretty much kind of as you would expect. Big volume zone, again, why I think we drop out. What's important though, look at how that plays out for the lower range. We drop into a very much lower volatility range, which means that we'll see less price action and probably a stabilization. Again, do I think we could go lower? 57, 55, potentially. You know, if I was really wanting to be... If I wanted to be conservative and be these people that are like, oh, well, I just think we might go a bit lower. Yeah, you could argue and say, well, you know, I could probably put something like that. Oops, not like that. As that on as like a potential. I mean, we could leave that on just for a laugh. Just for a laugh. Let's do it in a kind of red vibe though. I'll feel a bit better. There we go. So the red box is like where I would get to in terms of like super low price target. On the orange box, however, is sort of where I'm at, you know, in terms of this price dip. What's important to reference here is some of the key areas that you would argue and hope for support. We have lost them, all right? 200 EMA, 200 week moving average, loads of these things, you know, we've kind of just blasted through and gone to Goblin Town. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Stu, what's going on, buddy? Welcome in. Good to see you. Oh, I didn't see you there. Your name's gone white. That means you're not a channel member anymore. Get out of here. XRP, we've got 70 cents. I mean, it could do. It definitely could. Unless it's the DCA spot strategy and you believe in the asset, 60k is suitable. But we have 5 weeks sell off in a row, any pump and the chance for people to exit. I mean, that's true. And that's exactly what we'll see as well. You see these kind of pushes up, people will just dump that are buying the bottom. So, you know, people will freak out. The minute this starts to move back up a little bit, people are definitely going to sell out. So, okay. So that's where we sit right now with BTC. In my opinion, like we said, we're playing out pretty much perfectly. We lost some of this key support. Look at it. You know, you'd argue with there, look, we broke below this support line right now. So, yeah, we're going lower. Just my opinion, all right? Just my opinion, okay? Be mindful. Be mindful of where that goes. Okay. Where do we look with the rest of the market? ETH still looks incredibly bearish, as we've been talking about. Nothing going on here with Ethereum. If anything, it's even more bearish than BTC, and people might be like, how the heck is that? But you've got nothing to cling on to here. Like, ETH is literally going to gobble in town, so be mindful of that. Solana down 5%. Again, look at this. Hitting our wick at the bottom of this range. You know, this is exactly what we've done. The triple bottom. Maybe Solana gets a bounce. You know, 1, 2, 3. Does it get a bounce up here? Maybe. My fear is, though, I think it continues to the downside. That's just my personal opinion. I don't foresee anything changing in the next 24 to 36 hours, which is probably what you need. XRP, like we said, could definitely go lower. Broke below the 618 for Fibonacci. Again, what is our price target then? 130 is where my next price target here is on XRP. So watch out for that. Definitely a potential push down. A bit more kind of FUD and stuff coming out about it. Interesting. Sui, we've been talking about Sui. Look at this. Getting near to a first initial buy price for me. This first white line down around 86 cents, I believe is a good one. Hey, bro, how can I make 10K fast? Deposit 20K in crypto. Tommy says BTC is going to $100 quadrillion by the end of the year. I mean, maybe. Which is kind of wild, isn't it? Which is kind of wild. Anyway. I wonder why people simply... Is anyone who's called Crypto Cash that's just joined the Discord? Are you in the live chat, by the way? Because you need to do it in the start here screen. Verify in the start here screen. Follow on screen. In. Whoa. There we go. There we go. Because that's multitasking, like, just making it happen right now. Making it happen, bros. Okay, let's continue on. So, again, my view here is that, you know, Sui definitely about to hit my first price target. Again, this is it. I actually did, for the first time, buy a particular cryptocurrency today, but I won't tell you what it is just yet. Monad up a little bit. The new shiny token still kind of holding up in fairness. So if you're holding Monad, shout out to you guys making it happen right now, as is Jasmy. And Jasmy, by the way, someone was telling me, shout out to M. Kriegs, to keep an eye on JCT, okay? So JCT, if you don't know what it is Junction. This is, you know, a kind of a spin-off from Jasmy. I'm going to put it up here, actually. It's not really a spin-off. It's like the partner coin to it. So let's put it up here so we've got it. But yeah, one to watch. Might get a breakout here. Obviously, massive move on launch and has dumped ever since. Finding the bottom here for around 2011. Now on a reversal. If it can break this trend line, you might get a move on JCT. I'm not saying this is going to go to the moon. I'm not saying this is going to be the greatest project that ever lived. I'm also not saying this price action is going to be insane. However, you definitely see a little bit of a push up in there, which could be good news, okay? So keep your eyes out for JCT, by the way. You got Asta moving a little bit. Don't think anyone cares, personally. And then the rest of the market is pretty painful right now. Pump, watch out. Again, we talked about this. Probably heading to a new low here on Pump. This might end up going way lower. You know, think about it. We're looking at potential wick down here at 2016, which would be an absolute market bottom here for Pump. This could be a nice bounce potential if you believe longer term, but we'll see, okay? We will see how this one goes across. So just FYI, dead quick, 2 coins I bought. I bought some Pepe today and I bought some Bonk today. Not huge amounts, just a little bit. I thought, hey, Pepe, I want to increase my staking rewards. I'm going to maximize the returns I'm making. Bonk, I thought, well, look, it's a market bottom here. I'm just not going to give up this opportunity to take a DCA. And it may turn out to be a bad news story, but couldn't help myself. All right? Couldn't help myself. Cryptovaria said, I'm so good at buying just before a downtrend. I can make millions off posting when I buy. Then people would know to buy 24 hours after me. Hey, bro, we all know it. DCA laddering. Look, you don't need me to tell you, but that's the strat. Behave says, bro, just a thought and a small request. If it's feasible for you based on your bandwidth, can you make tutorials on option selling for sideways markets, range markets, etc.? Would be really helpful. Yes, well, kind of. So, yeah, we've got some new trading guides being built right now for the premium Discord that's going to talk a little bit about how you basically trade within stale markets, and equally some brand new chart analysis stuff that we've got working on right now. So yeah, loads more to come with the Discord. Keep your eyes peeled on that. Let me see if I can just get you a quick clip. We were talking about is this actually gonna even play? Let me see it. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. So there's some we're gonna do are bull flag continuation, bear flag, which I think are important, symmetrical triangle, cup and handle, rectangle range breakout. That's a pretty cool one where it just ranges sideways, and then how do you understand which way the market's going to go? So that one's going to be good. Clear support resistance levels, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we're working on that to go into the Discord as well. So that's going to be pretty cool. So yeah, keep your eyes out. It's going to be epic. So anyway, what's been going on the rest of the market? Well, gold rallying, breaking out. We said this yesterday, if you remember on the live stream. People might be thinking, oh, here he is, 2-bit and his flip-flops going the complete opposite direction to what he's been talking about. But gold breakout happening right now. Could rally. We said this yesterday. We said gold may print a new rally, but I absolutely believe that this is going to catch people. This is a deliberate move on gold. I truly believe it is. And then what you're going to get is another story like here. So maybe gold rallies. People start to FOMO. It's like, oh my God, Trump's going to go into Iran. He's going to get impeached. No one's going to turn up to State of the Union address. All this kind of crazy stuff, right? Gold may rally. You can see that this is a clear breakout here from this triangle pattern. And again, the retest as well. So gold looking pretty bullish right now. Silver doing a very similar pattern. Probably an even bigger breakout here on silver. No wonder we're getting this kind of stronger break on silver here with lots of potential move to the upside. Like I said, though, just my personal opinion, I think it's a deliberate move. You got copper not really doing much. Futures are way overpricing where they should be. 7% futures pricing on silver is insane. And then you look at this. This is why I think gold and silver is crazy. You've got the Dow Jones down 1.5%. Not Nvidia, sorry. The Nasdaq down 2.36%. The S&P 500 down 1%. No one gives a flying shit anymore about the S&P 500. The fact that it hasn't hit an all-time high for ages, that it just is sort of keeling over and going to come back down to the downside. So again, it sort of doesn't make any sense. The Q's down 1%, no surprise. These continue to bleed out as well. And then you've got other very obvious facts, by the way. US bond market is looking incredibly weak, which means people don't want to invest. They want to hold on to cash. And then the stock market got a boom shanker today. Look at this. Oracle down 4.6%. You got Meta down 2.8%. The AI bubble, by the way, it's still going strong, but it is definitely weakening right now. And I think this is where you end up with, at some point, this kind of craziness going on. And then the other bit on top of that, you've kind of got this whole narrative from Trump just being a little bit out there. I'm just going to give $2,000 away. I don't need Congress approval. People don't like uncertainty, and that is what's happening. So that gives you a bit of a view of where the market's at. Let's dive into why I believe, right? Why I believe that we're seeing what we're seeing, okay? And why I think that it's all a little bit deliberate. So, like I said, we looked at this one, didn't we? This US stock market, $700 billion wiped out in the last 24 hours. That's not all. You actually have now seen yet again huge OG whales selling an absolute shit ton of Bitcoin. Sorry, TikTok, I'm just going to put you there so I can see you a bit better. You know, selling loads and loads of Bitcoin. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. People are like, oh my God, they're dumping loads of Bitcoin. Everyone's selling out. You know, World Elite Financial's going to zero, all this kind of crazy stuff, okay? But this is why I think it's all a bit coordinated. Like, do you not think it's random that today we get a big push down in the early hours? Some of us were in the Discord back and forth. Curtis, I know you and I were just kind of chatting a little bit in the Discord about what was happening. But, you know, Bitcoin took a monumental dumperino over the course of the last 24 hours. And I said, if you remember the Discord to, man, where did I post that in the trade signals chat? Oh, we posted it last night, didn't we? What was Bitcoin at last night? 66,000. Or did we post it before, actually? Oh, no, we did. Yeah. 1244. We were still within the range. I put kind of feels bearish, even without any news on Iran. And then what happened? We got the big push down. And even at 66, after that break, I said this. My thoughts are the trade setup and why I think we're going much lower, and we have been that we've been talking about. I actually took a short trade last night. It wasn't crazy, but I got it. And then I said this. Back up to the 20-day EMA is an interesting move. No news on Iran helping push this up. As we said in the live, geopolitical is a buy the dip. I would watch this. Target 60 to 62 still remains to longer triggers and spot buys. US market open into buy, but think it's short-lived. That's exactly what we got. US markets opened. We got a little bit of a push up in the market, and then boom, Goblin Town came in. All right, pretty interesting. By the way, if you want to get access to that, become a channel member. That's the premium Discord you get. It's like $6.50, $7 a month. A month! It's like 25 cents a day. It's totally worth it. You also get our bots, trading guides, everything else. It's literally the most insane value you could get on crypto YouTube right now. So check it out. Link in the description. Also in my bio. Okay, so BTC there, taking a dump. Why? Let's talk about why. Let's talk about what's happening to understand how bad it is. And this is the chart you need to see. This is it. This is the only chart. TikTok, look at this. This is the only chart you need to see. This is the important chart, and this tells exactly what's going on. This is why I think that we're seeing this push down in the market. Institutions may own a majority of Bitcoin by 2035. People think we're crazy. People are like, no, 2-bit, that can't happen. It's happening. That's the important thing to reference here. The fact of the matter is, though, that there is 208,000 Bitcoin left to be mined. And currently, what do we have? 3.5 million in funds and ETFs, 6.34 million in businesses, governments, 1.78 million. What can they do, though? Turn the money printer on, buy Bitcoin. Individuals, 6.54 million, and we've lost a few coins, okay? Which would be wild. I mean, that would be good. I mean, it'd be pretty interesting. I think it was Asia sell-off. Yeah, Asia definitely did sell off, for sure. I hope not, Stu. I just think this too slow to adapt. What's that for? Magic Craig, I had the cash in my Canton today. I had cash in my Canton today yesterday to pay some bills and wasn't happy. My portfolio is getting smaller and smaller. Craig! No! Okay. There's some strange stuff going on TikTok as well. Anyway. JFR bots, did you call me? Cheese in the building. What's going on, Cheese? Good to see you, man. Welcome in. Oh, I'm doing DCA, but this ladder is so tall, it can get me to the moon and the bottom. I know how you feel about that. Bought more XRP at 99p. Would have been 98 before fees. Let's get it. My biggest position was hype long and deliberately ate it. Ate a lot more than the real market. Yeah, I mean, I get that. Bitcoin Bijou! 2-bit can gold hit 5,800 in March. I mean, 5,800 is pretty epic. What's the all-time high in gold, by the way? We were just talking about gold. 5,800. I mean, it would be a brand new all-time high. I mean, it could. Is it likely? Man, I don't know, you know. I mean, there's another 10% move. I guess it's possible. It's possible. Is it likely? I mean, you kind of put me on the spot a little bit. I'm going to go and say, I think you need some sort of, you know, you'd need Trump to go into Iran in the next 24, 40 hours, maybe the next week. You need a bit more like geopolitical problems. You know, you need real big risk. But yeah, I'm not sure. Like, if you think of this, super crazy FOMO, everyone's going wild. Loads of people got absolutely nuked here, and then it's kind of grinding back up. Yeah, I think it's possible. I just don't believe it's likely. That's my view. But anyway, institutions may own the majority of Bitcoin. By the way, thank you for the $5 donation as well, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. 150 people in the stream right now, by the way. Hit the like button. And if you're brand new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button every day, by the way. I'm here breaking this market down, trying to keep you guys dialed in and supporting the growth here for everybody on the channel. So welcome. If you're brand new here as well, thank you so much for tuning in. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, turn your notification bell, you don't miss a beat. All right, it's important. But again, this kind of tells us where we get to, and more importantly, what could come next. The fact is that institutions may have owned the most Bitcoin, right? It's important to reference, okay? Is that the game plan? Think about it. You know, BlackRock, they want to own everything. They own a piece of every stock market there is out there. They could single-handedly crash the entire S&P 500 if they really wanted to. But it would be remiss of me to be like, this is my entire view of how I believe the market's going to go. That would be ridiculous. It can't be one thing. We're now starting to see Fed repo operations in crisis. All right, this is something else we've been talking about, that we're seeing huge spikes in repo debt. This is a problem, and a problem we've been talking about now for the longest time. The Federal Reserve is having to bail out the banking system like never before. Well, I say like never before, like the COVID 2020 scenario, okay? They were bailing the banks out every single night. Now, the reason why we're sort of seeing this push into metals, people are certainly hedging against the potential risk. And repo debt's been fine. You know, we were holding around what? 85,000, 80,000, nothing super crazy. Everything kind of just holding its own. And now we start to see a sell-off. Now things start to dump and the Federal Reserve is bailing out the banks, okay? It's important to reference. You probably will get into a world that that will get. Stillman, come on, bro. Come on. You know the drill. On top of the shilling, we know that the subscriber... Thanks, mate. I mean, some people might not, though. You've got to understand it. Some people might not. Okay. Man, I still got my cough, by the way. That literally nearly sent me over the edge. I mean, again, after what took place in Mexico yesterday, lots of craziness going on out there. So, again, this is definitely a narrative that we need to be mindful of. US spot ETF balances, once again, are starting to push down. Big money is dumping on your head. We've been saying this now for the last week, that this big push down in the market, this deliberate, collapse. But if we're sort of pushing this market down, there has to be an ulterior motive. There's got to be a reason why this is happening. What's the reason why it's happening? Well, that's when you start to get and understand the game plan. What comes next? Well, the fact that we are seeing exchange reserves of BTC start to rally. They're all starting to offer some pretty insane rewards. Hey, come and loan $100,000 off us and put your Bitcoin in a hold. All this kind of crazy shit right now, right? Exchanges are playing a game. They want your cryptocurrency on them. Now, I'm not saying that, exchanges are not liquid right now, because that's not what I'm saying. But it is worth noting here that in a number of cases, exchanges are desperate for your cryptocurrency, to the point where they're offering 5, 10, in some cases 15% on your stablecoin if you hold it on exchanges. Like I said, I am not adverse to, but don't think you should have your entire portfolio on there. That is not a good idea. Just my personal opinion, okay? But exchanges want your particular cryptocurrency assets. And that's not all. If you are assuming that there is a deliberate play, well, guess what? Crypto.com today got announced as a potential bank. Conditional approval to operate as a national US crypto bank. Oh, Crypto.com. That's a pretty interesting one, isn't it? That's a pretty interesting one. Is Ripple going to get announced the next couple of days? Maybe. So Crypto.com gets announced as a potential national US crypto bank. Okay. Saylor bought more Bitcoin. I mean, there you go. $33 million. He bought more BTC today as well, which is kind of, again, even more interesting, right? Even more interesting that, this kind of big money. And like we said yesterday, Saylor's been buying the dip. Like, fair play to him. He's actually been buying the dip, albeit he bought, again, just a little bit too expensive, and probably was the reason we saw the rally last night. But there's all this kind of stuff going on right now where you have all this kind of money moving around. There's no surprise today, and I don't know if you guys have seen that this enormous World Liberty Financial stuff that's been going on. Eric Trump is deleting tweets about World Liberty Financial's USD1. It's like, oh my God, everyone's totally freaking out. So much so, by the way, that they actually had to put an official statement out saying this. For clarity, no World Liberty Financial or USD1 smart contracts or wallet were hacked. Today's incident involved unauthorized access to a co-founder's X account, no wallets or protocol infrastructure, 0 smart contracts were affected. Again, people are freaking out. They're like, oh my God, like World Liberty Financial just got hacked. It's all going to zero. Quick, sell sell everything. The best way to look at this, by the way, we talked about it yesterday in my update video. Also, if you haven't seen my videos from today, I highly recommend go and check them out. But short-term holders, like, they're dumping their bags like crazy people. It's insane. People are literally nuking their entire portfolio for no reason. Look at this. I know this is a really messy chart, by the way, so I apologize. I know TikTok, you can't see it, but basically what you've got is a red is the short-term holder bear market, which essentially means people are dumping their bags below cost price, okay? You can see here, look, the red line is the short-term holder cost basis price. So anyone as an average, okay? As an average, this isn't just like, people that bought on a, randomly thing, but they're selling their bags at a loss. It's insane. Like, people are literally freaking out right now. Like, you wouldn't believe. And I'm not surprised. And that's why I think personally that this is a deliberate move. And this is why I'm not panicking. I'm like, hey, we've been prepping for this. Like, we're ready for that. Dump it, baby. Like, take it down. Lots of us have been stablecoin from, well into 6 figures. We're ready for the bottom. And the bottom's coming, by the way. I think it could be coming sooner. Paul Gallagher says hello from Nottingham, England, fellow channel. What's going on? Paul Galland 3675. There you go. Go check him out. I'm actually going to type that in. Can I see that on YouTube right now, by the way? What do you cover, by the way, Paul Gallant? Let me have a look. I'm going to have a look for you really quickly. Let's bring Paul Gallant's channel up. Here he is. Paul Gallant 3675. Oh, is that you, Paul? I think I found you. What do you talk about, Paul? You talk about... Hello and welcome to Paul 3675, where I speak about Newcastle Football Club. Get out of here, Paul. Come on, bro. What the heck? Shout out to you, bro. Love it. Love it. Oh, man, you've even got one in your Newcastle shirt. There's Paul Gallant. Look. Shout out to Paul. Thank you so much for tuning in, buddy. If you like Newcastle and you like football, Paul Gallant looks like the man for you. Talks about NUFC, my football club, and I also play guitar. Beautiful. I play the drums, actually. Oh, I used to play the drums. I don't play drums anymore, but anyway. Shout out to you, Paul Gallant. Shout out to you. Okay. People selling now will be buying back at much. Exactly. See, this is the game, though, isn't it? This is the game. This is what people don't realize. It's all the game. You just have to know when to relax, chill out, and don't make bad decisions. Because so many people will ultimately make a bad decision, and that's not what you need to do. So, anyway. And then you get this, the bear market indicator. Bum, bum, bum. Where are we going and how low where can we go? The current bear market is now closer to cycle 2, which is the 2018, than cycle 3, 2022. Bitcoin is at a negative 48% from the cycle top. 2018 was 50% at the same time. 2023 was 30%. The trick is not to get too antsy and jump in. It is a slow process. You can see here from the 3 examples, we don't know exactly when this market is going to bottom. As much as people say, oh, well, 8 days left. Bottom's going to be in. We're going to be totally fine. Get out of here. You don't know what you're talking about. But it is worth noting, by the way, that if you assume that we are where we are, negative 48%, then we probably have a little bit further to go. Now, people will tell you October's the bottom. I just can't believe that's the case. Because I think if you said October's the bottom, that means we're going to just see a way slower decline from where we are. It's been too aggressive. And either we get a bounce, maybe back up to sort of, 70, 75, maybe even if we were, lucky back to sort of 80K, followed by then another capitulation to the downside, maybe. Or we just bottom out way sooner. And actually then that consolidation, that's why we're getting some of this kind of how you sort of trade markets sideways, because I think it's worthwhile. Then we can sort of think about the way that the push markets, the way that kind of then, bounces back and goes back to the upside. So, worthwhile, in my opinion, just thinking about how some of this does. Ultimately, though, they want your crypto and they want it cheap. That's where I'm at. So anyway, let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts, by the way. And let me know kind of what you guys are doing. I think it is worthwhile touching. We dropped faster than the bear markets. Exactly. And that could be down to the fact that we didn't get retail investors that, all we got is big money. And big money, if they want to move, they'll move. Anyone with crypto is going to feel more pain in the near future. Snack Attack CEO. Yeah, I think you're probably right. Hidden Bull says, I scalped pretty good on the first dead cat bounce. Nice, bro. Nice. Just as you can see in your chart, you're all going to lose the whole cycle, and the next cycle top won't be an all-time high. Do you know what I like the most, though? What I like is you put a smiley face on at the back, as if you're like some super guru that's come in going, hey, guys, I got the absolute alpha here. It's like, come on, bro. We're in stablecoin since $109,000. Like, what are you talking about? Anyway, thanks, Joe. Thanks for that absolute piece of wisdom. I appreciate it. Do you plays the meme guitar? Supergirl's in the building. What's going on? Welcome to you. Welcome. I think it's safe to say, and I think most people are in that place saying, yeah, we're going to see a significant push down. That's why we have on our charts here the big orange box that's definitely, in my opinion, telling us we're going lower. Like, I'm all about it. If people are going to come in and go, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, we're going down. I know we're going down. I'm ready for it. I know you are, Joe. That's why I said it, bro. I'm only messing. I DC every week so much as I can. Gary, it's a good shout. Again, DCAing is absolutely the superpower that so many people don't. So what you end up with now is people are like, okay, the guy on YouTube said it's going to 60,000. That's my entry point. 60,000, 60,000, 60,000. They port their entire stable coin in at 60,000 and the market keeps pushing down. And before you know it, people have gone in on like 30x leverage, their entire portfolio. The market comes down, they liquidate because they don't put a stop loss in, and boom, before the bull market even comes back around, they've lost everything. Don't be that person, all right? Don't be that person. It's important. These are critical moments. Might not feel like it. It might not be like this place where it's sexy to be in crypto. It's boring. It's where you need to put the grind in. You need to understand what's going on. You need to try and stay plugged in, stay focused, because these are the times that essentially then it's going to bite you in the backside if you allow it. All right. Again, that's why I turn up here every night. We talk about the markets. We get a view. We get opinions. It's important. That's why I try and bring as much of the chat in as possible, because there's some smart people out there. I'm not saying I'm smart at any, stretch of the imagination. Just a bloke that talks about crypto on the internet. Whereas the relief rally, it's just been down, down, down. Well, I mean, this is the problem. You see, when you look at it at a macro level, there has been a couple of relief rallies. I mean, think about it. Think about it. We got this big dump here back November 2025 off the 126 top. We then rallied all the way back up. That's a decent move back to the upside here. We were up 20%. It's a big move. And then, poof, Goblin Town. You argue we hit the bottom here at around 60,000. You got to move back up. There's nearly another 20% move. Poof, Goblin Town, So we do get the relief rallies. The problem you have is that people end up in these relief rallies not really seeing them for what they are. And I think that's where people just get into this sort of narrative of like, I missed it, I'm holding on. By the way, I'm not sitting here going, boys, 100% in stablecoin. Nailed the top. I'm not. I'm holding some crypto and I probably shouldn't have been. I probably should have sold out of it. But the ones I'm holding, I believe, are multi-cycle cryptocurrencies. Ethereum, Solana, XRP, what else? Aerodrome Finance. I think they're multi-cycle coins. I'm not holding Ars Krakenu. I'm not in any random DeFi players with the exception of one in which I was a VC investor in, which you guys know about. And I've already got my initial investment out of that project. So it's like, all right, cool. And now I've got a little bit of player money in there. So I'll buy at 20K. Let's go. Maybe 5 red weeks and 1 green, but I don't know. I mean, we haven't really had that, if I'm honest. That's the weekly candles right now on BTC. We've had, if you take, for example, if you take back from September, so the all-time high, 126 and, a bit of change. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green candles. 6 weeks since September 25. What, bro? What is that? 147 days. I mean, you could argue, if you could argue that's the bear market in some respects, but think about it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So in 21 weeks, we've had 4 that have been green. That's it. 4 green weeks. I mean, that, if you were ever in any doubt of whether we're in a bear market or not, that absolutely tells you that we are. Absolutely tells you that we are. So yeah, worthwhile noting, by the way. Let's put that on. And where is, here we go. Trend and reversal. Trend and reversal. Okay, let's leave it at that, actually. I guess he's gonna, Hidden says, I guess if he's gonna sell it, it's better to do it now so it will take off next bull market. Well, it depends. I mean, it depends, doesn't it? You could argue and say, look, if you've got so much conviction that the market's going to push down even further, why do you not sell your coins? And the honest answer is, A, I can't really be asked, which I know sounds insane, right? And people go, what do you mean you can't be bothered? But I just can't be bothered. And I think like something like Ethereum, I'm like, do you know what? Cool. I'm in it for the long run. I'm not desperate. The other coins, I'm literally staking them. So like Solana, I'm earning nearly 6.7 to 7% yield on that every single day. Pepe, like I said to the chat, I'm earning about 160,000 Pepe every single day. Right now, that's absolute dog do. You know what I mean? It's a complete waste of time. But if I have conviction that says, hey, I think Pepe is going to do something, it's great. Like, I'm just stacking for free, which is kind of insane. If you think about it, 160,000 on Pepe. Let me just give you some maths, because I think it's worth noting right now, just in my opinion. So I'm earning about 160,000 every single day, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 9, 7, right? It's 63 cents every day. All right, that's what I'm earning. And by the way, my Pepe bag's not the smallest bag in the world. It's a decent size bag. But anyway, so I'm earning 63 cents a day. People go, well, that's rubbish. Like, are you really going to hold your Pepe? I mean, how much lower can Pepe really go? Like, let's think about this. But if Pepe then bounces back, all of a sudden that becomes $6.30 for every single day I've earned that amount of money, right? It's kind of crazy when you start to think about it. And again, I'm not shilling this. It's not personalized financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. It's a bloke who talks about crypto on the internet. But if you think about it that way, then if Pepe loses a zero, which again would only take it to a $11 billion market cap, okay? Way possible. And it's done it before. Then for every week that I'm stacking 160,000 Pepe, it becomes $6.30. So 10 weeks, 63 bucks. If Pepe were to lose another zero and go to a $100 billion market cap, again, if we assume that 2027/8 is big, well, that's 63 bucks for every week that I've got this Pepe reward. It's like, holy crap, like it could end up being pretty speculative. That's why in some cases I haven't sold my entire bags. If they're earning, they're working, then, you know, on the vast majority of them I have held and kept them. You know, I've sold some here, sold some there, sold some XRP. You guys know that. I went into stablecoin. I moved a lot of my, let's call it play money. So these were DeFi projects, you know, ERC20 tokens that I didn't really have anything to do with. Moved all that into USDC. So we're sort of prepped. We're ready to go. Did you double down on your Pepe? Yes. So I bought more Pepe today. Not loads, by the way. I think I bought like 300 bucks worth. But I think that worked out at something like 8 million or something crazy like that. Which, unless I lose 1-0, and that all of a sudden becomes $3,000. Like, it's kind of like what? Pepe is at a $1.1 billion market cap, assuming that it has any kind of rally into the next, you know, bull market cycle. Like, it's my view. And Bonk, I did the same. So I think I did 200 bucks into Bonk. That's just some USDC I had. And yeah, I did like 300 bucks into Pepe. So first bit of crypto I've bought in, man, months. Like, literally months right now. So, you know, why not? I'm still in the middle of double down on yeah, see, Ondo and Sui. So I don't have any Sui right now. I sold mine 217 after getting in at like 171 or whatever it was. But yeah, Sui is about to hit my first buy price. So again, depending on how I feel about the market, depending on, and we'll take a look at futures in a minute, by the way. But depending on how I feel about the market, maybe I start to set some buy orders in for Sui. And again, if you look at this, all I'll do is set this at 86. I'll set it at like 75. I'll set it at 69. You know, I actually think Pepe's low. Sorry, not Pepe's low. You know, if we think about where Sui could go, that could end up being the low here on Sui. And if we did it as a broader macro, you know, Fibonacci retracement as an example, why is it doing that? Don't do that. Definitely don't do that. It doesn't make any sense. Then we could absolutely see where we could kind of get to on this low end, in my opinion, anyway. This is kind of key support. You look at it here. Look, this is kind of a big area of support before we got to move back up. So, you know, if let's say I was going to put in, I don't know. I mean, these are just hypothetical numbers, by the way. They're not, you know, factual at this moment in time. But, you know, let's assume that I'm going to put in $1,000. Well, I'm going to be like, okay, well, I might do 250, 250, 250, and 250. You know, just sort of my opinion, really. Just sort of my opinion. I do have SVC and PBC and others on Solana Memecoins. Interesting. I don't know what they are, but Sui going to be my long trade. Yeah, I like Sui, by the way. Get back into SHX, bro. It's your second chance. Is it really that? Is it really worth it? I'm down for checking it, by the way. Is it actually worth it? Cheese. That's the question right now. But let's go on Fairground. Good to see you, buddy. But yeah, I do like Sui, by the way. I think Sui could be good. A couple of coins I'm not going to do anything with. AVAX. Obviously, I think my buy price is like 29 bucks on AVAX, so I'm not going to bother with that. Link, I said yesterday. Ondo. I mean, Ondo at 24 cents is a absolute steal right now. That is the low on Ondo, by the way. I mean, if we go below that, you go below 20 cents on Ondo, it's like, bro, you are basically getting the opportunity here to get in a project at launch price again. And actually, I think so many people don't understand how crazy Ondo could be. Let's say that rather than can be, could be. I think it's probably a better way to do it. I said it's K worth of Cosmos when it showed signs that it might be quit bleeding. It didn't quit bleeding though. Thing is, the Cosmos ecosystem's massive again. Loads of stuff, the whole IBC narrative, like, yeah, Cosmos has kind of got some stuff going on. So, and their staking rewards, I think, are pretty crazy as well. What's your thoughts on Alchemy Chain stablecoin? I mean, I don't really have a thought, to be honest. If it's a stablecoin, right? I mean, I don't even understand why that would be a thing. Why would Alchemy, what's it called? Alchemy Chain. Oops. What am I doing here? Alchemy Chain. I mean, I don't know. Do you mean like Alchemy Pay and all these kind of crazy ones? How big could Ondo be? I mean, it does need some good news with Ondo. They need to put more treasuries on chain. Now, they've got 200 US treasuries. Think about this. Like, so many people just get completely like just naive to what's going on with Ondo. 200 US treasuries are on chain with Ondo Finance. What does that look like in 2 years' time when 5,000 US treasuries are on chain? What does it look like when the bond market's on Ondo? By the way, which will be on Ethereum. You know, that's kind of where I think people just miss this narrative and they go, oh, it's going down. I'm not buying cryptocurrency. It's a scam. Everyone told me it was going to zero. Like blah, 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 blah. Not personal financial advice, but you know, like I said, these are the times when you put the work in. And Ondo, again, though, they could never get any more on chain. They could never build any further. They could end up being like a Cardano and everyone just goes, Ondo, it's an absolute pile of crap. But the fact they've already got 200 on chain. Do you know what I think? Something like Ondo, Sui, I think a lot could be determined by the midterms. Because if the Trump administration loses in the midterms, you're almost going to price in the fact that potentially a lot of this pro-crypto stuff is going to be unwound. Why? We already know that the Democratic Party is going to go after, by the way, this is not a political stance, by the way, this is just fact. They're going to go after anyone that's associated with Trump. That means they'll go after the crypto market. Like, I'm not saying we should vote either way, by the way. It's not for me to say I live in the UK. I do not live in the US. However, you know, if you were to view that, you know, Democrats go in and they want to go after Trump. Like, everyone knows he made billions of dollars from the Trump meme coin. It's a big topic of debate. Will there be financial USD1? All of that, you know, what does that look like if you know, lose the midterms? Important to think about. If you think it's going down, get them in. I'm still bullish as Chuck. Yeah, Fairground, have you seen that Crypto.com has just been told they've now got a banking license? Pretty well, they. In Tether stacking gold for backing part of the price surge. Yes, Tether are indeed backing their USDT with gold. And US treasuries. They are the 7th biggest holder of US treasuries right now. Insane, right? They bought $1 billion worth of US treasuries. I just picked up $50 of Pepe. Yeah, look, Hidden Bull, that's exactly where I was at right now. And again, I am not telling you to do anything. I am not saying this or shilling this or anything like that. But right now on certain cryptocurrency exchanges, they are offering you a staking reward for that. Again, I don't know your personal financial situations. However, if it's $50, if you could afford to lose the $50, then it may be an option you want to explore. Only because it grows your bag, while at the same time, if you get an increase in price, it's a win-win for everybody. Again, I'm not telling you what to do. It's not personal financial advice. I'm just saying, all right? Just my view. Paul says, we need more education for the United Kingdom. We are way behind America. So I actually have something for everyone in the UK, by the way. I'm going to be posting this in our Discord. It is an update to the UK tax laws. Oh, baby. These are hot off the press, by the way. I'm going to be posting this in the Discord a bit later on just to give you a flavor. Tell me what your flavor is. These are pretty big news, by the way. Get ready for this. There are some big updates moving between your own wallets. For example, sending BTC from Coinbase to your Tangam or hot to cold wallet. Zero tax, zero disposal, zero gains realized, just your coins, your control. Easy bag moved is no longer a capital gains tax event. Bullish, everybody. Bullish. We talked about interspouse transfers, and obviously receiving a gift is someone that you can send is no longer a taxable event. Great news, all right? So if you take your cryptocurrency from Coinbase and you put it in a DeFi wallet, you don't change it, you don't move it into stablecoin, you simply go, hey, I'm going to move it off a centralized exchange and I'm going to put it in my DeFi wallet. That is no longer a taxable event. That stays as is. The taxable event is simply when you convert the cryptocurrency. All right, good news. Anyway, big update on taxes coming soon in the Discord, particularly if you are a UK individual. We'll try and build out something for the US as well. But hey, I thought it was great news. I thought I want to share that with you. Oh, by the way, have you seen, by the way, actually just on the tax front, the IRS is going to be implementing the same strategy that the UK government is. I don't know if you guys have seen this, by the way, but yeah, the IRS is coming for your cryptocurrency, everybody. Be careful. How low will Ondo go? 9 cents. I mean, 9 cents is insane, and it would be lower than low. Look at this. This is, if we go into the daily, I mean, we'll have to go into the daily, actually. Ondo's launch price was at 3 cents, and it wicked straight up on its first day. So if Ondo breaks below where we are right now, I mean, it could go a little bit lower, actually. Let's say 18 cents. It will have never been lower other than the day of launch. It's like, holy shit, I'll be pretty wild. I mean, I don't think it goes to 8 cents, in my opinion. Maybe it drops to 18. Maybe it wicks to 15. We had a wick very briefly down to about 20 cents. But yeah, think about it. Think about it. All right, good. Okay, that's Ondo Finance. And that is where that sits. Where's BTC right now? 64,609. Interesting here. Bouncing back a little bit, as we said, on the W pattern. Kind of wild. Is it going to sustain? Nah, I don't think so. But anyway, just my view, by the way. Just my view. Let me just close a couple of these down. We were going to have a look at SHX, weren't we? Let's have a look. I'm looking at it, cheese. SHX on Ethereum. Here we go then, everybody. It is currently priced in at 2056. Where's it at right now? A $12 million market cap. Okay, not horrendous. Not horrendous. Not horrendous. Let's put it on the daily so we can kind of see it. We can kind of see it. But yeah, let me know what you think, guys, by the way. Do drop your... it's been out about the crypto.com stuff, Fairground. It's been out a little bit. But do let me know, by the way. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions. Cheesy, are you winding me up right now? Are you winding me up, bro? I mean, you assuming that the bottom's in and that this is now going to skyrocket to the upside? Maybe. Maybe. 21k in volume, 12 million market cap. I mean, it might be in. Might be in. Look at the monthly. I can imagine it's just dreadful. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Yeah, SHX. I mean, it could be set for a bounce. I need to see way more about the project because that does look a bit goblin-y town, but I guess it's at the bottom right now. So if it's going to bounce, then it's going to bounce. I mean, yeah, if not, then yeah, it probably is going absolutely to goblin town. So the monthly candles, look at the state of that. Look at the state of it. What's interesting though, and we've done this before, haven't we? Look. You go like this, you go whoop, 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 whoop. And then you go and you move this and you put it over here, look. Oh, what, bro? What? Are you winding me up right now? Obviously, it's slightly more, but yeah. The push down's coming. Just FYI. Yeah, the monthly candles look awful. Awful. Steve Wonder market from now? Yeah. It probably is. It's like, just don't tell me what it is. I don't want to know. Quant bouncing soon or more downside action? Quant, I mean, look, if the overall market's going down, Quant is unfortunately not going to get out of it. I mean, look at that. I mean, that must have been what we put last time we were talking about it. I mean, it's a very critical point here on the monthly candle. What does it look like on the weekly? It must be at the low end. I mean, yeah, potentially Quant might bounce. We talked about this yesterday, 62. If Quant does take a low though, if it does come out on the bottom end, then yeah, you might get a little discount here. Quant may drop to $55. Maybe you can see this kind of descending channel right now that's coming in on Quant. If you went in a little bit nearer here, you could argue that, right now that, oh my God, come on, 2-bit, click on thing. Bro, are you kidding me right now? You could argue right now here on Quant that you're starting to see a nice little sort of channel form here. This kind of idea that's, maybe you get that bounce and then I guess you sort of see where the market goes. So watch out. Maybe we get a bounce, to the upside, give you $2 or $3, but feels a bit risky personally. I tried to find you on TikTok. My name, there, Paul, C703 link, is in the description, by the way. And 03 to link up, got Discord too. Yeah, nice. Get in the Discord, by the way. You do have to verify in the Discord. People just keep forgetting to verify because if you don't, so for example, there was one that came in and they were called 2-bit crypto, but they couldn't get into the broader Discord because they didn't verify. And in my opinion, it's dead simple. You go into the start here, you do /verify, it brings a code up, and you /verify code, as in whatever the code is, boom, you're in. It's easy. It's like the easiest verification. So my view is if you can't verify, then you can't get in. And like I said, if you become a channel member, $6.50, $7 a month, then you get access to our premium Discord as well, which has got the trade bots in there, the learn to trade guide, so four guides how you trade. We've also got VC opportunities, alpha calls, chart requests, everything else, 2 bots, all sorts of crazy stuff going on. Definitely worth it. Hidden Bull says now is a good time to buy spot buys. I agree. It really is, actually. It really is. Better than it was yesterday. That's true. I mean, the argument is, yeah, we've seen another push down in the market. Like I said, my view is BTC looks particularly weak right now, and this could give us that push down. Like I've said before, and I put it into the Discord, in my opinion, you've got to have your buy orders set because these are the moments that you want to be capitulating. The fact that we lost this lower end support that's kind of what I'm looking at. Lose that, you know, we're going down. We're clinging on for dear life right now. So what is Quant? Like it's an ISO 222. I guess like an old school AI. I mean, what do you call it? Like an old school AI infrastructure coin, I guess. Peace out. Peace out for the night. Good luck, everybody. Stay safe. Watch the charts. DCA by small positions. See you later, Fat Sonic. Always good to have your opinion, mate. Do appreciate it. Okay, let's take a look at the futures market just as a what? Randomly put a virtual camera on it. I don't know what I just did then. Okay, so futures markets for tomorrow, by the way. So futures on the Dow look awful. The fair value futures actually look okay. This is obviously the one we're interested in, by the way. The NASDAQ down, Russell down, S&P down. Hong Kong may come in and buy a little bit, maybe. I wouldn't hold my breath on it, though. Probably feels like that is a definite buy the rumor, sell the news idea. You got a little bit on commodities look strong. So gold, silver look like they're going to rally a little bit. The VIX volatility index, massive. So expect some real volatility there on the S&P 500 for the morning. And then equally on US indices as well. So lots of bearish sentiment right now out there. Gold, silver, probably rally a little bit more. The rest of it, Goblin Town probably feels like it. I mean, BTC's trying to rally a little bit. We said 64,725 may give you a little bit more of a, you know, upside feel. Gold close, not really. It's like $400 away from it or something. So, which is like trillions of dollars to get it to that point. So, yeah, gold's not that close to an all-time high. Does it mean it can go to all-time high? Probably. Like, it may get there. Quant claim to fame, interoperability and connections. There we go. Gold's next move. I mean, look, gold, whenever you've got real volatility in this market, gold's probably still going to rally. Let's just be dead clear about that. You know, we talked about this yesterday. Gold has broken out of its structure here. Very strong move, actually, with a retest as well. Like, if you look at this in the 4 hour, you know, look at that gold breakout, and you've got a lot of momentum going to the upside. Look at this, though. This is the risk in terms of volatility range. You just had loads of sell pressure, so you're sort of in this idea of price discovery stroke, hopium, FOMO, whatever you want to call it. Like, but yeah, I mean, fair play. It's a nice breakout on gold. XXX says, I'm in long since Friday. You're in long since Friday. What, on Bitcoin? Surely that's bad news, right? Surely that's really bad news, actually. Where were we on Friday? If you can't... What? If you're in a long since Friday, you are underwater right now. You sure? Do you not mean short? Oh, for gold. Oh, okay. Yeah, fair play to you then. Oh, yeah, you're crushing it. Yeah, good shout. Yeah, gold long since Friday is a great play. Yeah, absolutely crushing that. But definitely crushing it. Especially if you got in at like under $5,000. Anton says, hi there, I'm new to this, but I have a question. Since you're in the UK, what do you think of the new Dutch tax that will literally affect everyone doing anything in trading? Dutch tax? Or am I being naive here? What? Why is it? What? What? Philip Toussaint, it really is. I honestly don't know. I don't know if I'm just being a noob, by the way, but maybe I am. The trading between the UK and the Netherlands involves complex post-Brexit tax rules. UK residents trading Dutch assets face a 15% Dutch dividend withholding. Are you a UK-based person that trades in the Netherlands? I don't really understand what you mean. 36% crypto tax on profits you don't even have yet. It's crazy. You mean just the general tax? You mean the general like crypto tax rules? Yeah, I think it's a scam, by the way. I think it's a total scam. But as I've always said, you should definitely pay your taxes. It's important. However, like we just said, there are some very key things to understand when it comes to paying your taxes. You'll never hear me tell you to not pay your taxes. It's important, all right? They fund roads and hotels and all that kind of crazy stuff. But at the same time, you got to make sure that you're writing your losses off against your gains and making sure that you're tracking everything. If you don't have a spreadsheet set up, you should. That way you can track all of your losses, all of your gains, and make sure that if you do make significant losses, you are writing that off against your gains. For example, if you have a bad year over the course of the last 3 to 5 years, then you can write that against any good years. It's important, all right? So what's my view on it? Pay taxes, but more importantly, track everything you are doing when it comes to gains, losses, everything. I literally have a spreadsheet that has every gain, loss, trade, you name it. Look, do I track $3 trades? No, I just kind of round it up as it works out, but I track everything else. Everything else. I have done now for the last 4.5 years. It's worth noting, by the way. All I'll tell you is if you go to my Coinbase account, you will see I made a humongous loss on Solana, okay? Which was a disaster. I mean, I'm not saying that I bought this at a significantly low price, by the way. I'm not. I mean, when I transferred my Solana that I bought market value into Coinbase, it was like $280. And I removed it off Coinbase. It was like 106. Like, I mean, that's like a 60% decline. Disaster. More of that coming in the Discord soon. Why? Yeah, look at no tax in the Caribbean. Yeah, Belarus, Portugal, UAE, no taxes. Again, though, it is important to, you know, pay taxes. It's like what funds roads and funds, all that kind of stuff. Zach, I'm not reading that comment out. Oh, dear me. He's talking about the new Dutch. How does that affect the UK people? New Dutch tax on unrealized gains, as in for Dutch people, right? I mean, it's insane, and I think it's a scam. I think anything that charges you or that talks about taxes on unrealized gains is a joke, by the way. So as a result of the vote from 2028, the Dutch will pay an annual 36 PC capital gains tax on any increase in the value of their stock, bond, or crypto investment, even if they have not sold the asset and realized the gains. Yeah, it's a scam. That's my opinion. My issue with this, by the way, and I think I'm valid in saying this, yeah, I would just get out of the Netherlands, by the way, depending on how big your trades are. But again, I don't know how the Dutch tax system works, but make sure that you are tracking your losses, tracking your gains. Write the two off. It's important, okay? It's important. But yeah, I mean, it's awful, by the way. It's awful. But my view here, just my personal opinion on this, is that I do a 9-to-5 job and I pay my taxes as a high rate taxpayer, okay? So I pay taxes on any money that I have spare. That money, if I want to go on, let's say I want to go and buy something with it, okay? I pay VAT or whatever it is, but I don't get taxed on it. Let's say that I go and put that into a slot machine, I win, I don't get any. But if I take my money that I've already been taxed on and I go and invest it in a high-risk asset, so just cryptocurrency, in which I take 100% of the risk. No one else says to me, 2-bit, you know, if it goes wrong, we've got you covered, okay? I don't hear anyone in the UK government telling me it's going to be fine. But I take 100% of the risk. So if I then make gains, why should I give any of that money back? Now, again, it's the law of the land. You got to pay taxes. But that's kind of my beef with it. If I take 100% of the risk, what right, after I've already paid tax on it, does someone have to take it? It's crazy, right? It's crazy. And I wouldn't even care if they were putting them into good use, upkeeping roads, providing health and healthcare, keeping social services moving, funding schools, fire services, police officers. But we don't. We spend it on complete bollocks. And it's like, all right, cool. Take all the risk. You take all my money. And then you put it into complete nonsense. Beautiful. Great. That's exactly what it's about. Anyway, that's my issue with it. But yeah, in terms of taxing unrealized gains, it is literally a scam. That's my view. That's my view. Pax Gold, crypto, goodbye, 10K incoming. I mean, if you believe that gold's going to 6,000, then Bitcoin, Bijan, yeah, I mean, it's just tracking the price of gold, isn't it? So, yeah. The USA said that they will pay back the tariffs with interest, so the American taxpayers are paying for that as well. Yeah, I mean, it's something, I just don't, I mean, I know, like, Chuck Schumer and a couple of the Democrats have, like, gone, like, we're going to bill Trump for his tariff I mean, it's not going to happen, is it? Let's just call it quits. Do you claim it on your taxes, though? Scotty, what do you mean? I always used to put my tax back every week in an account to earn higher interest on it. There you go. Way to do it. What do you mean, Scotty? As in, when I pay my taxes, do I write off my gains and losses? 100%. 100%. Track everything. Like, everything. If you have a year where you make 10 Gs and you have a year where you lose 10 Gs, you write the two off. Job's a good one. Remember, as much as you have to pay capital gains, you can write losses off as well. So it's it's definitely worth it. And equally at the same time, understanding where these transactions and stuff happen. So worthwhile noting, by the way, just in my opinion. But yeah, we probably need to get way more deeper into the tax idea. I think that's probably a good idea at some point, isn't it? For sure. It's because crypto is deemed as an investment, not a gamble. And that's true. Yeah, I get that. But we all know that you've probably got more luck in a slot machine than you have in the bloody crypto market. Yeah, that's pretty good. Coinly, I think there's a couple of others that are pretty good as well. So, like I said, I track everything on a spreadsheet. I'm not like a massive trader. I don't change my portfolio every second. Like, it's really deliberate. Like, okay, I'm going to move this amount of money into this place, and it's all very traceable. But like I said, I mean, I've had a spreadsheet forever of tracking stuff. I mean, even down to back in the day when I was, I guess, a bit bigger in terms of meme coins and all that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, I used to track all of that as well. Like, every meme coin trade, every kind of, I was just trying to see if I could find it, but I can't. Every conversion, all that kind of stuff. Like, I used to track everything, including my 90 and 60 days when I got promoted. Man, I still have that on there. Anyway, who are you looking for a new entry on Sui? Well, we said, so right now probably is, potentially, depending on the market feels right now, is certainly hitting is a first point. So you can see here, look, these are my entry points here. So 86 cents. If we break below, that's probably the first one to come in. And then I'm targeting a bit lower here, around 70 cents. Super low, 57. Assuming that we get this sort of bigger push down in the market is where I'm sort of pricing in some of these key things. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with them anyway. No, it goes in Europe. Defense. People are getting, yeah, exactly, Antonio. Definitely. It's a scam, bro. It's an absolute scam, in my opinion. It's an absolute scam, but yeah. Okay, everybody. Right. That's an hour and 20 minutes we've been live. And yeah, so we're going to call it there. As always, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. I need to change this logo, actually, don't I? I just realized I definitely need to change that logo. Man, that's annoying. I need to change that logo. Didn't even realize that. We'll be back tomorrow night, though, as always, 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. here in the UK. Look out for some content. We'll be keeping you dialed in. If you haven't already seen the content we put out today, I highly recommend going and checking it out. We put some Bitcoin content out, broader macro, keeping you warm and fuzzy in these very, very challenging markets. But if you want to see more content like this, hit the like and the subscribe button and hit the follow button if you're on TikTok. As always, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. We'll be back, like I said, tomorrow. Enjoyed the content. Do join us. As always, 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Would appreciate it. You guys, be careful not to catch the falling knife. See, Zach knows what's up. All right, everybody. Thanks so much, everybody. We will catch you very, very soon. Live tomorrow. Bye-bye. I don't know which the end button is. See ya.